Defend missions in Helldivers 2 are my favourite mission type to play. The pure fun and chaos that can ensue from waves of enemies trying to destroy those two generators is quite frankly epic. With this current major order focusing on defending planets from both the automatons and Illuminate invasions, plus with the added threat of the Meridia black hole making its way to Moradesh, we may end up seeing more of these missions as the galactic war progresses. So it's time to discuss the loadout and stratagems that I recommend for the defence missions during Illuminate invasions. Primary weapon. My primary of choice to use against the Illuminate is the PLS-1 Scorcher, an energy-based weapon with both medium armour penetration and explosive damage. This combination makes taking out the Overseers a walk in the park. Just a few well-placed shots slices through them like a knife through butter. The downside? The explosive damage will cause harm to you if the enemies get too close. Therefore you need to maintain a little distance to avoid this, which brings me nicely onto a weapon to complement it. The secondary weapon. Now, there are a few different options here, but I've always found that the P19 Redeemer to be my best friend when called upon. It has a high rate of fire of 1,100 rounds per minute, which is fantastic at dealing with those voteless who manage to get close enough that your Scorcher would harm you. Just pull this out and watch them fall before you. Grenades. The G16 impact grenade. I use these bad boys on literally all of my loadouts, no matter what faction I'm fighting against. They have 400 damage and heavy armour penetration. And if used correctly, you can clear large groups of voteless in one go, and I have also finished off harvesters using them when I was in a pinch. Like the Scorcher, if used in close quarters, you can easily kill yourself, so make sure to throw them far enough away. Let's move on to the green stratagems. First up is the EAT-12 anti-tank emplacement. This was released as part of the Urban Legends Premium Warband, and it is the staple of the strategy you should employ during these missions. As it says in the name, it's anti-tank, meaning it's hard hitting and should be used to take down as many of those dropships and harvesters as possible. If every person in the squad takes one of these and you all shoot down the dropships, very few enemies will make it past the gates. And if any enemies do actually make it to the gates or even past the gates, you'll have another stratagem ready to mop them up. And that brings me onto the AG-16 Gatling sentry. Firing 1,560 rounds per minute, this sentry will take care of any voteless or overseers that do manage to make it past the barrage of anti-tank fire that your squad lays down. Just simply deploy this between you and the oncoming horde and watch it rip through them. But be warned, if you get between it and the enemies, it will kill you. So placement is everything with it. Get it in the right place, and it is your best friend. Next up is a red stratagem. It's the Orbital 380mm high explosive barrage, a massive AoE consisting of salvos of high explosive shells that will destroy everything. This is to be used to keep enemies outside of the gates. You need to throw this thing well beyond the gate so the AoE can be effective without the fear of it killing you in return. The best option for this is to communicate with your squad and stagger each person's 380. If you time it well enough, you can pretty much have a 380 going off at all times. Let the Super Destroyer do the work for you. The final stratagem is a blue one, and it's the s-teir X3 WASP launcher. It's part of the Helldivers Killzone crossover. It's a micro missile launcher with homing capabilities. You have to lock onto your enemies to fire the weapon, so it can't be dumbfired. It will only lock onto medium or higher enemies, meaning it can't fire against the voteless. Its speciality is aimed at medium enemies, but it will do moderate damage to heavy enemies such as the harvesters. I take this weapon for one reason: the Overseers, especially the elevated ones. You can knock them out of the sky like flies, and it just makes your life and the squad's life a hell of a lot easier to take them out. Take that, you flying squids! And that's it, folks. Those are my recommendations for defending against the Illuminate. Smash that thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to the channel with all notifications turned on. It will be greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Pardo out.